Uh, Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. My name is Abhishek Kumar, and I'm a project manager here at CloudFronts. So, for the next half hour or so, we'll talk about a problem every delivery team knows well. How do you spot a project going off track before it becomes a real problem? We'll show you a simple way to catch the early signs using the tools. Um, so, let's proceed. First, a quick word on who we are. For anyone meeting us for the first time, CloudFront is a solution partner by Microsoft across business applications, data and AI, and Azure. And we are a Databricks partner as well. We work with clients across the US, Europe, Australia, and rest of the world. Before we begin, let me quickly introduce the two of us. I'm Sheikh, project manager at CloudFronts. I'm working with CloudFronts since last 10 years, handling CRM, ERP, and data projects, and look after billing and delivery excellence. So I'll leave with the problem we are talking about today. And joining me is my colleague Mihir Ratankar. So Mihir, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, good morning. I am here Vijay Hatankar and I am working as a data and AI engineer at CloudFronts for the last 4 years, developing data engineering and analytics solutions.
Thanks, Mihir. All right. So project risk assessment with Databricks Genie. So what is project risk assessment with Databricks Genie? This picture sums up the whole idea around. At the outside, you can see other everyday things that tell you how a project is really doing, like the emails, the notes, the support cases, invoices, and project updates, and the meetings. Normally, all of these sits in a different places, and no one has the time to read through it all. In the middle is Genie. Think of it as a smart assistant. It reads through all of that, for you and gives each project a simple health score. And if your project looks like it's, heading for trouble, it flags it. That's the projects in red. You can see here. Um, and the best part is you can get all of these things right inside Microsoft Teams. You can just ask a question in plain English, and Genie answers that for you. So instead of finding out project trouble when it's too late, you can catch the warning signs early while there's still time to do something about it with, stay committing with clients, etc. So with that, let's proceed towards our agenda for today. So here's what we'll cover today. First, the challenge, why project risk is so easy to miss. Then some real world context. Next, the solution on what we actually build to fix this. After that, how it works, and then Mihir will also go through the live demo. Then we will look at the business impact, what it changes for your team, and finally, what's next. How anyone can get started. I'll take the first couple of slides, and Mihir will walk you through the solution and the demo, and then I'll wrap up at the end. If any questions comes to your mind along the way, feel free to just drop it in the chat. We'll answer everything at the end. Moving on to the next slide, the challenge. So let's start with the problem. Um, on most projects, risk shows up late. By the time a project is marked in red by the project manager, it's all usually already hard conversation or an escalation with the client or internally with your, delivery head or CEO. Why does that happen? A few reasons. The early warning signs are usually, sitting in emails or the ticket notes, old cases, um, but not in any status report. There's no single view to just see how a project is really doing, and the bits you need are spread across different reports that someone has to pull together by hand. Um, so on the right, you can see what we set out to fix each one of them. That's really what the rest of the session is all about. Where this started. So it started with our own team. The we in PM at CloudFronts, the group that watches over the delivery and billing excellence. Three things kept happening. The early warning signs were, um, residing in the long email chains. So we only noticed a risk after it had grown or escalated. Project managers had no quick way to see how healthy a project is. So every week the team checked each report by hand just to work out where things are, or where things stood. And because we run many projects at once, it's really easy to slip, a real problem to slip by. So I'll give you some real example from our own experience. One of our clients had a contract coming up for renewal, right? So it's the kind of thing you just assume that someone is on top of that, but it didn't get flagged until almost like we had like 2 weeks left or so for the renewal. Now, if the client had decided not to renew, that would have been a lost revenue for us, and our leadership had no early warning that this project is the contract renewal is even at risk. So we would spotted it just a few weeks earlier. We could have started this conversation properly, following up in good time, and given management a clear heads up. The information was there already. It was just not in front of everyone early enough. And that gap across a lot of projects is a real problem we set out to solve. Another project, I'll give one more example from our own experience. Is the client had there was a project where the client had not given us enough details. There were two parts to it. The second part was yet to the requirement was yet to be covered, and they wanted to start a bit later. Now, that was a clear risk to the last milestone of the project, and most of us kind of knew it, but we didn't mark the project date until the um, until the very week the bill was due. If would have we would have flagged it in advance, maybe just a few weeks earlier, we could have talked to the client um, while we have some good time in hands, and managers would have known much sooner. So nothing would have really went wrong. So the warning sign was just there before anyone acted on it, and that gap across all the projects is a problem we set out to solve here. Um, Moving to the next slide, a project health live in four places. Project health is not in one place; it's spread across booking, billing, or delivery, or collection or utilization of resources. Now, there is booking, for example, contract renewal for the support agreements or the new work, etc. Then there is billing or delivery, which is the status and the open risk, the tickets, the notes, the client emails, and then there is collection, what has been invoiced, what's overdue, and then there's the team who is working on that, who is working on what exactly and how busy they are. So one of these on its own doesn't tell you much. You only see the full picture when you have put all four together, and that's exactly what the uh, project risk assessment engine does. So on that note, I'll pass it over to Mihir to show you how it works. So yeah, Mihir, over to you. Yeah.
Uh, Thanks, Abhishek. Uh, as Abhishek explained, the project health sit across the four main areas, which are booking, billing, collection, and utilization. So, it's very crucial that these four areas should be managed and monitored throughout the project life cycle. If any risk in these areas goes unidentified or it is missed, it can directly affect the company cash flow. So that's exactly the gap the project risk engine closes. So basically, what the project risk engine does is firstly brings your crm data together across the areas which we mentioned, which are booking, billing, collection, and utilization, into one governed data set. Secondly, it uses ai to review client communications, the emails, the notes, and surfaces hidden threads, such as a delay blocker or any sort of client escalations. Thirdly, what it does, it generates a health score for every project along with a detailed risk summary and what is the actual reasoning behind it, along with the recommended next actions. So, project managers can review it and take timely measures. And finally, it also provides project managers the ability to have a conversation with the agent right inside the Microsoft team, which is powered by the Databricks Genie. So they can simply ask a question and get insights about the project and where the risk lies. Now that you are familiar with what the project risk engine does, let me walk you through the solution overview and how it works. So here you can see this is a complete end-to-end architecture of the project risk assessment solution. And at the core, it runs on Azure Databricks using what called a Medallion architecture. So the data from the different sources like a dynamic 365 CRM, where entities such as project details, invoices, milestone cases, or tickets, along with the Outlook emails, is brought into ADLS Gen 2 using Azure Logic App. ADLS Gen 2 is the storage account. So then this data is then passed through the Medallion architecture where it is cleaned, transformed, and curated into gold layer. So let me give you an example of how the data is actually transformed across the Medallion architecture. So consider the example of email data. So all the raw emails are landed into bronze layer. Then from the bronze layer to silver layer, the passing of the email is done. So passing basically means only the useful information from the emails are extracted, meaning the email signature or any unwanted data is removed, and the column that are required are only kept. For example, like email body, email subject, who is the sender, who is the receiver, and other fields. And finally is our gold layer, where emails are tagged with their relevant project, forming a business gold layer. So no manual tracking of email on the project is required. So and this gold layer is then passed on to the project risk engine where the AI analysis happens. So I'll explain you what happens inside this engine in the next slide. But as of now, the output of this AI analysis is used by Databricks Genie. So let me explain you what Databricks Genie is. Databricks Genie is a space where user can converse with the organizational data using a simple natural language. So this has been incorporated into Microsoft Teams, so project managers can simply connect and ask the questions about the project. Then, so this was the overall architecture of our solution. Then now let's take a look at what is actually happening inside the risk engine. So and how a project is get flag red and how risks are detected. So this is though this isn't just a single AI call, but it's a multimodal four-layer approach, and each layer has its own functionality. Starting with the layer one. The layer one is the rule-based pre-filter where no AI is involved at all. It simply filter out all the emails threads that have gone inactive or they aren't the part of any recent communications. Coming to the second layer, it's a lightweight AF framework, which uses a smaller model to sort all the filter emails in and classify them into four categories, which are active, completed, waiting, and informational. So this layer decide the life cycle of each communication based on which the important communications are moved forward to the next stage, to the layer three. Then there comes the third layer where the deep analysis happens. So it uses a model called Claude Sonnet 4.5 because this stage requires stronger reasoning capabilities. In this layer, the email communication are analyzed in depth, and the underlying threats and risks across the projects are detected along with their likelihood and impact. Now, to sum up all of this, comes the fourth layer, which is the executive summary. Here, the health score for the project is generated, indicating the numbers from 0 to 10, along with the top threats and the recommended actions. So, a project with a ES score which is below 5 is flagged as red. So this is not only the parameter that determines which project is in red or which is not. I'll cover the other parameters in the next slide. So this is how the project risk engine works end to end and reads through project communication, filter out the unwanted noise, and surfaces the real threat hiding inside it. So moving on to the next slide. So what is project in red and how does it get flagged? So project in red is a project that requires PMO attention and its flag as red based on the four parameters. So this parameters is as per our organization metrics. This will differ from organization to organization. So the first one is if the AI health score drops below 5, it is flagged as red. Second, if any invoice on the project is overdue by more than 21 days, it is flagged as red. Third, if the MSA is due for renewal, MSA is monthly support agreement for the project. If the MSA is due for renewal within the next 30 days, it is flagged as red. And fourth, if the consumption or the utilization across the projects drop below 50%, for the recent month, it is flag as red. So any one of these four signals is sufficient to put the project in red, giving project manager an early signal to step in before it turns into a bigger problem. So now that you have seen what project risk engine does and how a project is flag red, let me show you an actual demo of Databricks Genie inside the team, in which I'll walk you through how you can ask question to Databricks Genie right inside the team. I'll start by querying about the projects that are in red, then followed by the billing across the project and few example of resourcing and team utilizations across the project. Also, I'll show you what the Databricks Genie tagging feature is, how it works in any regular team chat with your team members by simply tagging at the rate Databricks Genie followed by your question, and Genie responds right there in the conversation inside that chat. So let's jump into the demo and see how it works. So this is how Databricks Genie look inside the team as you are chatting with someone. In this recording, I'll ask Genie few questions in plain English, just like any project manager will do. So to start with, I have asked Genie list all the Genie spaces and its capabilities. To which you can see the Genie is processing our request. So in the background, what it is doing, it is converting the natural language query into SQL query, then pulling the result and then running AI analysis on top of it. So this usually takes 30 to 50 seconds for Genie to respond. So let's wait for a few seconds for it response. So yeah, here we can see the Genie has responded us, and it is showing that there are four Genie spaces, starting with project status. The second one is resource time tracking. Third is case tracking, and the final one is booking and collection. With each with details about its capability and what are its limitations. So anyone on a team can exactly know what they can ask and what is out of scope. Then next, I have asked Genie a specific question about show me the projects which are in red. So again, it is processing a request. It will take a few seconds to respond. Let's wait until the Genie provide us with the response. Yeah. So it has provided the response where you can see the Genie has shown that there are currently six projects which are identified as red across the portfolio, including risks such as overdue payments, low MSA consumption, or delivery delays. So let's take an example of the project which is at second number, GACSP MSA, as an example, and let's see why it is in red. So this project is in red. Mm, for two main reasons. First is the consumption has collapsed. You can see the consumption thread that in the month of in the month of May, the utilization of 52. Then in July, it has dropped to 1%, down from the 82% in June. Second, there is an integration issue stating Shopify to 365 Piano Sync has been failed since April. So it is not a single issue; it is combination of low hours utilization and unresolved technical failures. So, which is exactly why Genie has flagged this project as red and has surfaced it, so the project manager can step in and look into this. Let's take an another example right below that, which is the George process intelligence solution at number three. So here you can see the Genie has tagged the project as red for an overdue payment. So looking at the data, the project manager can take a quick action so that it doesn't affect the company future cash flow. So similarly, it has identified the other four projects which are in red across the organization. So this is the kind of view which helps a project manager to get insight across the entire project portfolio and help and take timely measures. And moving on to the next question, I have drilled into one specific project and ask him, show me the status of project GACSP MSA. So let's wait for the response of Genie. Yeah, so we have our response here. So as you can see, it has given me the health score, a number 5 out of 10, showing how healthy the project is, along with the executive summary, a short overview of what is actually going on with this project, then a reason why it is red, uh, with the actual reason behind the flag. Then the ticket required attention, any support ticket that is overdue and need follow up, along with what is actually happening inside the ticket, and also the potential threats, the risk that could affect the project if they aren't handled. And also it has provided us with the action plan and the positive signals. So this helps the project manager quickly understand where the project stand, what is driving the risk, and what actions to take next, without looking through multiple system to bring it together. So this is how our Databricks Genie work. So next, let me also show you a demo on Databricks tagging feature and how it works. So what is a Databricks tagging feature? Let me start with an example. So consider an example. Let us say the delivery head has asked the project manager to share the details of all the invoices. So instead of checking the data in system or relying on the report and then sharing it, the project manager can simply tag Genie in the team's chat and ask the question. Genie will share the information on behalf of project manager in the chat, which can then be reviewed by the delivery head. So for this, what I have done, I have navigated to the chat section with Abhishek, inside which you can see I'm simply tagging the Databricks Genie right here in the conversation. So here I'm simply tagging the Databricks Genie with the question, show us the invoices related to the project GA CSP MSA. Let's view wait for few seconds for the answer. So here are the result where the here are the result where it has provided right inside the chat with full invoice details, including the amount, status, due dates, whether the invoice has been paid or not. And below is the summary where you can see that there are two invoices, one start ending with 013 has been paid, and one ending with 002 has been sent and is has been sent. So, with this, I have shown you the working demo of a project risk assessment with a Databricks Genie inside the team, along with its tagging feature and how it helps project manager. So, with this, I'll navigate to the presentation now. So Databricks Genie also available as a mobile application. So project manager can have a conversation with their organization data and get insight directly from inside their phones. So also many organization uses Claude nowadays, and Genie can be connected with Claude as well. So here what you can see is a user interface of Databricks Genie app mobile application showing the invoice details for the same project as we tested on the teams GA, CSP, MSA. So on the left hand side, you can see the first invoice, which is showing its outstanding with on the left hand side all the fields along with the details, and on the right hand screenshot you can see the invoice 2 ending with 013, which shows it has been paid. So this is how the user interface looks like inside the Databricks Genie mobile app. And this is how it works inside Cloud. Here you can see it is presented in a cleaner and more readable format. The same two milestones for the project GAM CSP MSA, showing one is paid and one has been sent. So this are the four gene spaces which we just saw live inside the team, and how you can simply have a conversation in a simple language. So with this, I would like to hand over to Abhishek.
Yep. Thanks, Peter. All right. So you have seen what it does, how it works, its mobility. With Microsoft Teams, with Databricks Genie mobile app, or with Claude. So any organization using Claude also can connect the system. With Databricks Genie, and then use it within the Claude system, within the Claude platform. So let me bring it back to what this changes for your team. Three big changes. First, you stop reacting and start staying ahead. The team keeps an eye on every project all the time, not just once a week in the project status update call. Like for example, I've given that the contract renewal was due for renewal, but didn't knew it until the last moment. So um, basically, we can be proactive in that instead of reacting it on later stage. Second, nothing hides. Every project shows up in the same weekly report all the time, not just once a week. And shows it if the project is in red or not. And the third one is um, the red call is based on agreed fixed criteria, agreed rules, not just one person's decision or judgment. Um, Now, below I've listed on operational and delivery benefits like efficiency, having one interface, visibility into projects trending red before financial or contractual impact, etc. Um, Moving to the next slide, what changes with the risk engine, with this risk engine before and after. So let me put it side by side. Before we notice risk, after it blew up, now we catch it at the early stage of first sign. Before the warning signs were residing on emails and notes. Now the AI reads them for you. Basically, it reads all the emails and the sentiments, and based on its analysis, it provides you the result. Before someone checked lots of sources by hand, now it's one simple plain English question on Teams or Databricks Genie mobile app or on Cloud, and you get your answers. And before, the red call was a judgment, also based on one person's judgment or decision, and now it comes with the proof behind it. No? So moving on to the next slide, who it helps. Um, it's not it's just not a tool for the project manager or PMO. The CEO sees the health of every project and what's in red at one place. Delivery leads get an early heads up on their projects. Project manager gets their risk picture without taking all the data and etc. Finance sees what's due and what's overdue together. um, it's at a single place. Support leads can check the case status across projects without opening each one of them. um, and this is just on at one place. A lot of answers. Moving on to the next slide, next action. So how do you bring this into your own company? Three steps. One, bring your own data together, project, billing, case, team data, um, all at one clean place. Two, turn on Genie on Teams so your people can just ask a question, get an answer right where they already work. And three is roll it out so your PMO, delivery leads, finance team all have one place to catch the risk early. Um, so yeah. If you have any questions, you can also email us at transform@cloudfronts.com, and we'll help you get going. Um, Closing remark. Um, so before we take questions, there's one thing I would like to uh, provide as a key takeaway. On most projects, the warning signs are already there. They're just scattered and easy to miss until it's too late. And this is from our a real problem on a day-to-day basis for any company. What we've shown today is just a simple way to bring those signs together and see them early and in plain language using the tools which you use on a daily basis. You know so thank you so much for your time. And if any questions, um, I don't see any questions in chat, but yeah, thank you so much for your time. We would really love to hear your questions, your own stories. So let's open it up, and if you'd like to keep you know um, put anything in the chat, please feel free to do so. Um, all right, we don't have any questions, so I think we'll wrap up. Thank you so much for joining the session, and have a good day.